Hello, how is everybody doing? Welcome back to the Vince MMA show. UFC 325 was yesterday. Forgive me for wearing a jacket indoors. It was freezing cold in Florida today. Not really sure why. That's a different story. So UFC 325 was yesterday. I want to give my thoughts on it. I want to talk about the fights that I think should happen afterwards and just give my thoughts and breakdowns on the cards. So let's just get right into it. Main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. I'm going to be honest with you. I got this fight wrong, which is fine. I'm not really worried about it because that means that Volkanovski won. I picked Lopes. This fight was not that eventful. I was very mad when it got announced because there was just no reason why this fight should happen at all. We saw this in April of 2024. Really no reason for a rematch here. Volkanovski hasn't even fought since then. Diego Lopes had fought one time since then. He knocked out Gene Silva in a very dominant performance. Just 10-8'd him in the first round, destroyed him in the second round, started to get hit a little bit, and then he hit him with a nice spinning elbow and finished him on the ground. There was just no reason for this fight to have been made. It went basically the exact same as the first time, except Volkanovski was polished a little bit. He was a little bit more polished and improved, and he didn't. Actually, I was gonna say he was more risk averse. I kind of take that back. Diego Lopes was the one that was more risk averse because if you watch the first fight, every 40 seconds it seems like Diego Lopes is just charging in, doing his blitz like he does his when he blitzes and he ducks his head and he throws like 8 punches in the pocket. He was doing that a ton in the first fight. Didn't really do this at all in the second fight. And I'm not really sure why, because Alexander Volkanovski, he was cracking him a lot. He was cracking him, hitting him with big shots. He hit him with a clean right overhand. He would hit him with a clean, like a clean 1-2 here and there. But Volkanovski just has nothing for Lopes. Every time he would hit him with his best shots, Diego Lopes would laugh it off. So I don't really know why he was trying to just for the first few rounds, like he wasn't doing much. He was just jabbing. He'd throw a couple punches here at range. He'd throw some leg kicks, but he was just never crashing. He was never getting in the pocket. He was never making it dirty. And I was saying, like when I was watching this fight, I was saying that he needs to get in to the dirty boxing range and make it a dogfight because Alexander Volkanovski just has nothing for him at this point. Like he was again, I was like I said, he was hitting him with his best shots possible, and he was laughing it off. So there was a much more clean aspect to Diego Lopez's game. He was trying to not be as sloppy. You know, a lot of times in the first fight, Lopes would just try something and then he would get cracked and it would disrupt him and he would have to reset. But this time there was just not really any risk there. I mean, he had one takedown and he had a submission attempt, kinda like he had an armbar a little bit. I don't even know if you want to count that. Volkanovski didn't really get the takedowns going well for him. There was one time where he shot a single leg, got cracked, and then shot another single leg after that, and didn't get either of them. I mean, there's really not even much to break down. People are saying it's a masterclass. I mean, I get it, sure. It was. It's hard to call this fight dominant because there was very little volume. Like, let me see how many strikes he landed. He landed, I mean, 98 strikes. It did not seem like 98 strikes, which is still, to be honest, not that much in a 5 round fight against a guy like Diego Lopes who is going to bring a super high volume. And Diego Lopes only had 70 significant strikes as well. He had to have had double that in the first fight. Like, I'm not even going to check, but there's no way he had less than 130 in the first fight. You know, both guys had like a couple takedowns, but I mean, not really. The biggest moment of this fight, honestly, was Diego Lopes getting that knockdown, but it was a flash knockdown because Volkanovski got up in 2 seconds. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm hating on Volkanovski or this was a bad performance because that's not the case at all. He looked very good. It was just a little bit boring, but at the end of the day, I can't even really blame him because if I'm Volkanovski, I'm not going to be charging into combinations with him. I'm not going to be charging into the pocket, trying to make it dirty. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I do. I use my 1.5 inch reach advantage. I'm going to low kick you at range. I'm going to pop you with the jab. His jab was looking good. Just interesting game plan from Diego Lopes. Not what I was expecting at all. I picked Diego Lopes by round 2 TKO. That, of course, did not happen. I thought that he was going to hurt him big time in the first round. I thought it was going to be a relative, back and forth affair in the first round, but Lopes was going to crack him and rock him and almost finish him near the end of the first round. And then we were all going to be wondering to what extent has Volkanovski recovered. And then in round 2, I thought Lopes was going to get it done. He did not. Yeah, man. I mean, again, this just not a memorable fight, not a fight that I'm ever really going to rewatch. Kind of disrespectful for Volkanovski's legacy. It does nothing for him. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm gonna pick him to fight Lerone. I'm gonna pick him to beat Lerone Murphy or Movsar Evloev for sure, because they're rumoring that fight to be the main event of UFC in London in March. So probably both guys won't do too much damage. So maybe we can see Volkanovski versus the winner of that fight in September, maybe October. I mean, it would be cool to see him in July, like late June or early July, International Fight Week. But I don't know if they'll want to do a quick turnaround like that. But I don't know. To the co-main event, Benoit Saint-Denis versus Dan Hooker. I picked Benoit Saint-Denis by round two submission. I thought the first round Benoit was going to get cracked, take a good amount of damage, but still have some success, maybe land a takedown. And then I said in round two he was going to take him down, take his back, get the hooks in, and then get a rear naked choke. Round one was weird because Benoit Saint-Denis, it just seems like some fighters have certain aspects of their game that they just will never change or never improve. Kind of like how Justin Gaethje always ducks his head and Volkanovski always backs up with his chin in the air. Benoit Saint-Denis will never improve on just this is his striking defense, just sitting still, throwing punches. His head is just right on the platter for any fighter to just. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Every single time he just it's the I don't know who his boxing coach is. He needs to be fired. He should have been fired after the Kyle Prepelec fight because when I was watching Benoit Saint-Denis versus Kyle Prepelec, that was my birthday. So I was in New York City watching that fight at a bar. And Benoit Saint-Denis is one of my favorite fighters. So I'm thinking he's going to lose because he's just sitting still, just getting cracked by Kyle Prepelec of all people. And yeah, like I said, Benoit Saint-Denis will never improve on his head movement. It doesn't matter who he's fighting. I don't know why he doesn't improve on that. It's the most glaring flaw in his game. It's going to get him finished against anybody in the top five. If he fights Arman Sarukian next, he'll TKO him on the feet easily. If he fights Max Holloway on the feet, he'll KO him. If he fights Charles Oliveira, he'll KO him. Of course, Taporia will KO him. Any Justin Gaethje could KO him, to be honest. I mean, of course, that fight wouldn't happen, but I mean, I would pick Benoit Saint-Denis to beat Justin Gaethje, but I just don't see a way that Benoit Saint-Denis can beat any of these top five guys when all he does is just allow himself to get hit, doesn't move his head at all. Other than that, absolutely dominant second round. Good first round as well, but very dominant second round. Had him in an arm triangle for about 60 seconds straight. I'm very surprised that Dan Hooker survived that because I think most guys would have tapped or most guys would have just gone out, but somehow, some way, he escaped that. And Benoit Saint-Denis again just was raining big elbows. Really late stoppage, in my opinion. I don't know what Herb Dean was waiting for. I mean, there was multiple times where he was mounted and he would hit him with big shots, and then he went for the arm triangle, had him in there for 60 seconds, got out of the arm triangle, hitting big elbows, wouldn't get stopped. Then he was shelling up completely, hitting more big elbows. Then he transitioned just throwing big punches, just wouldn't get the fight stopped. I don't know what we were waiting for, but very happy for Benoit Saint-Denis. He's one of my favorite fighters in the game right now. Very glad that he's back in the win column. Dan Hooker, I don't really know where you go from there. People are saying the Paddy Pimblett fight. I guess so. I mean, I don't really think Dan Hooker should be fighting up the rankings after losing two in a row, both in really dominant fashion. I mean, he got the Arman Sarukian fight, which was kind of weird. Didn't even really deserve that. There's only, weird circumstances as to why that fight was made. But he fights up. Arman Sarukian loses, gets destroyed, then fights down in Benoit Saint-Denis and gets destroyed as well. So it would be very hard to convince me that he is deserving of fighting Paddy Pimblett, who is up in the rankings. And like they're saying, oh, there's a big beef there. I mean, I guess there is. Realistically, Paddy Pimblett just said some dumb shit about him, and Dan Hooker is gonna react accordingly because he said some dumb shit about his mother, which I don't respect at all. So people are making it out to be like some Taporia versus Paddy Pimblett beef. It's just not that at all. Yeah, I mean Dan Hooker. I don't really know where you go from there. He's lost quite a few. It's very funny how he was touted as this guy that could make a fringe title run. Like in early 2024, he fought in March, which was UFC 313, which was the not Carlos Alberg, which was the Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev 1. He beat Mateusz Gamrot in a very controversial decision, which I thought was a robbery, by the way. But that put him in the top five, and then everybody was saying, "Oh, dude, I don't know, Dan Hooker, he can make a title run. I'm not sure he's in the top five. That's 3 wins in a row." Yeah, it's funny how these fighters can have these very brief windows of success, and then all of a sudden we're like, "What the fuck were we thinking?" Kind of like another guy that's on this card, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Yeah, Benoit Saint-Denis, I think he should fight. People are saying Arman Tsarukyan. Yeah, I don't know. I think he should fight the winner of the BMF belt. I think that makes more sense. I mean, he is the most BMF type fighter in the UFC. There's very few guys that really fit that. It sounds so fucking dumb when BMF. Like this just sounds so odd to me. But Benoit Saint-Denis is one of the very few BMF guys that would actually be deserving to fight for the belt, because you've got guys like Mateusz Rumbetsky and Chris Duncan and all these guys, but they're not worthy of fighting for the BMF belt because it's being held by Max Holloway right now, who's number 2 in the division. But Benoit Saint-Denis should fight the winner of that fight. I don't think he wins either one. I think he gets destroyed in both. However, I think Benoit Saint-Denis versus Charles Oliveira could get very, very interesting, because both fighters are guys who kind of just throw caution to the wind when it comes to striking defense, and they're kind of a live by the sword, die by the sword type of offense on the feet. Where, I mean, dude, Charles Oliveira is not known for his crisp head movement. That's not who he is. That's not what he does. So that could get really interesting in a Benoit Saint-Denis fight, but I would probably pick Charles Oliveira to TKO him in the first round, maybe the second round. But I very much hope that Benoit, honestly, in a perfect world, Max Holloway beat. Damn, I don't even think that's a perfect world. Because I'm not rooting for Max Holloway to win because I love Charles. But if Charles wins the BMF belt and then he fights Benoit, I wouldn't want to see Benoit beat him. Dude, this is tough. I don't really know. Right, it's so annoying because I love so many of the top lightweights. Like I'm a massive Sarukian fan. That was more recent. Love Tapori. He's probably my favorite fighter in the sport. Massive Charles fan, of course. I love Benoit. Damn, dude, I don't know. But let's talk about Mauricio Ruffy versus Rafael Fiziev. It's very strange watching Rafael Fiziev fight because he's very high level on the feet. You'll never really watch a Rafael Fiziev fight and be like, "Oh, this dude sucks," or "Oh, he just looked terrible in that fight." He always comes to fight. He's super quick kicks, just crazy. I mean, I'm not even gonna say crazy power because that's not really the case anymore. We haven't seen Fiziev hurt anybody in a while, but he's super quick pace early on. He always does slow down, but he starts off very good. Super quick kicks to the body. I love, I fucking love watching Fiziev fight, but he always loses these big matchups. Whenever you give him a Justin Gaethje, whenever you give him a guy like Mauricio Rufi, he doesn't get it done. He can beat in Ignacio Bahamondes, who is okay. I mean, yeah, Ignacio Bahamondes is solid. We all thought that he was going to be a guy that was going to be in the top 10 because he beats Manuel Torrez, who, I mean, okay, anybody can beat Manuel Torrez when you charge forward and leave your chin in the air 3 different times after getting cracked. But Mauricio Rufi is really dangerous, and I don't think that anybody should have hopped off the fighting nerds train because all of the fighting nerds lost kind of around the same time. So everybody was like, "Oh, these guys are frauds," blah blah blah. Because if a fighter loses one time, that just means they were never good. By the way, I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, that's the case. In case you're new to MMA, if they lose one time, they suck. They were never good. They're also washed too. Even if they're 27 years old and they got 4 fights in the UFC, they're also washed. So that's a whole different fucking conversation. But yeah, Mauricio Rufi looked fucking amazing. He was much more patient in this fight, and he wasn't doing a lot of the crazy shit that he was doing against guys like Bobby Green and Benoit and Jamie Mullarkey. He's not doing the scissor sweeps and whatnot. He didn't really do any jump knees because Fiziev closes the distance really quickly and he didn't want to get caught on the inside. But Rufi was very patient early on. Started to land some good counters at the end of round two. Or at the end of round one. I gave round one to Fiziev barely. It was a very close round, sorry. But I thought Fiziev did enough because he just outvolumed him. He landed more, throwing big kicks at the body, big kicks at the legs. And Rufi, he landed a couple near the end of the first round, but I'd say Fiziev edged out the round. And then round two, just fucking cracked him with a beautiful right cross right down the middle. It was just fucking perfect. Rufi has, I think, a 3.5 or 4.5 inch reach advantage, which he used to his advantage. It just looked so fucking good. Ruffy, there's still going to be a lot of questions because of how easily he got dominated on the ground by Benoit Denis, who, by the way, that win or that loss is aging much better. I know it's a loss, so it can't really age good or bad. But I mean, Benoit is on a four-fight win streak right now, four finishes, and he's continuing to just dominate these people. So losing to him is not a bad look by any means, but we need to give him a test who can test him on the ground. I was thinking a guy like Grant Dawson, but also at the same time, Grant Dawson is not ranked. So it would kind of be weird for Mauricio Ruffy to go from 14 to beating number 9 to then fighting a guy who just got KO'd and KO'd out of the rankings too. So I think we should do the Michael Chandler fight because this was supposed to be the fight, the main event for UFC China, which was in, I think it was November of 2024. It was the Piotr Jan versus Davis and Figueiredo card, if I'm remembering correctly. I think that was UFC Macau. That was rumored to be the main event, and that was kind of all but confirmed. I even had some people that I am in context with that have, I don't know, I guess they're involved in the MMA world, in the MMA scene, and they got connections, and they were saying that that's going to be the next fight that happens in China. That was going to be the main event, but then it never happened. So Mauricio Ruffy versus Michael Chandler, I love that fight, honestly, and I think Ruffy KOs him in a round. It would be very interesting to see Ruffy handle the massive suplexes and the crazy takedowns that Chandler would go for early on and probably will land as well. I mean, again, I don't favor Michael Chandler in that fight. I don't really favor prime Michael Chandler against Mauricio Ruffy right now. Like um you can pick Michael Chandler from 2021 and put him against this Mauricio Ruffy. Still probably gets KO'd. I don't know. Like it's weird because Mauricio Ruffy, he still has the not the aura of invincibility, but he has this. I hate this fucking word. He has this aura about him to where like he's very intimidating. Like I would not feel confident picking a Sarukian to beat him. I would pick Sarukian to beat him for sure, and I would pick Topuria to beat him absolutely 100%. But I still would have that fear in the back of my mind going into that prediction. But I don't know. I want to give Mauricio Ruffy a guy who is solid and decent, but not too good to where we rushed him again. So, like, yeah, I don't think he deserves a Sarukian or the BMF winner or the BMF loser. I think we should give him a guy like Michael Chandler who can kind of test him on the ground a little bit to see if that aspect of his game has been improved. And also, Michael Chandler is kind of used for exclusively fun fights, and I think this would just be a perfect fight. I mean, like that would be fun as fuck. It's an easy pay-per-view main card opener. Like, can you just not see that being the UFC 328 main card opener or maybe the featured fight? Shit, maybe even the fucking main event of a fight night? I mean, come on. We can easily do this. But yeah, Fiziev, I think he should go down to 145. We've been talking about this for a couple years now. He should go down to 145. Give him a guy like David Onama. Give him a guy like maybe Yusuf Zalal. I mean, I don't want to give him a guy that's really high in the featherweight rankings because he's lost a couple in a row now. So that's why I'm saying give him a guy like David Onama, who is number 15 in the rankings, I believe. Yeah, it's fam. It fucking sucks watching Fiziev lose because he's so fun to watch, and I really like the guy a lot. But and it's also so confusing because anytime you watch him, he always looks so good, but he just doesn't get it done. So he's just one of those gatekeepers who will beat anybody that's between 8 and 15. But you give him a guy who's number 2 in Justin Gaethje, or you give him a guy who's number fucking 14 in Ruffy, and he doesn't get it done. So I don't know. Let's talk about Tai Tuivasa versus Tallison Teixeira. I don't even want to talk about this fight. I mean, I could rant about both of these guys for 20 minutes on end. It absolutely infuriates me that Tai Tuivasa is in the UFC. It absolutely baffles me as well how it seems like every single event, the heavyweight division just gets worse and worse. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know why we thought Tallison Teixeira was going to be this killer after he elbow TKO'd Justin Tafa when Justin Tafa fucking sucks. The entire Tafa family sucks. All of the Pacific Islanders. I'm not even. Listen, dude, I'm not trying to be that guy. All of the Pacific Islanders, most of them suck, okay? Haikar France is solid. I'll give it to him. Tai Tuivasa blows. Tyson Pedro blows. Junior Tafa blows. Justin Tafa blows. I mean, Mark Hunt, okay, he had a couple of cool KOs. He's like 12 and 15 or some shit. Who else are some other guys? I don't know. But like these guys, they don't do shit. Okay, they're fun. They're sluggers. That's their stereotype. and it's cool to see, but they fucking suck. Okay? Tai Tuivasa fucking sucks. He was never good. I could not fucking believe my eyes watching this fight. I actually thought he was going to win, and I was going to break my fucking TV in half if Tai Tuivasa won. Because I picked Tallison Teixeira by round 1 KO because I'm thinking, okay, Tai Tuivasa, well, he was recently 308 pounds outside of camp. He hasn't fought since UFC 305, 20 UFCs ago. That UFC 305 was an Australia card. Who the fuck even was that was Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Since then, Dricus defended his belt and lost his belt. That was 20 fucking UFCs ago that he last fought. That was like, when even was that? Was that like June? No, 300 was April, 301 was May, 302 June, 303 July. That was fucking September or August or September. The last time he fought, August or September of 2024 that he fought. Then he gets to 310 pounds, and then he fucking, like, bro, he fucking sucks. Straight up, he fucking sucks. And okay, I'm sorry. I moved away from the fight. Let me talk about the fight now. Yeah, so I mean, Tai Tuivasa landed a couple strikes or whatever, then Tallison Teixeira took him down, had him in mount multiple times, didn't do a fucking lick of damage, gasses out after the first round. Then Tai Tuivasa gets up at the end of the first round and nothing happens and the round ends. Round 2, same shit, like Tallison Teixeira gets a takedown, mounts him, does fuck all, does no damage. Tallison Teixeira then kind of gets cracked, and you can see him visibly gassing, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? Tuivasa is gassed as well. He's throwing a couple punches, landing one, but somehow hurting Teixeira. And I don't even remember how the second round ended, if I'm being honest with you. Then, like, we get to round 3. I mean, I had Teixeira winning rounds 1 and 2, obviously. Round 3, Teixeira is hilariously gassed. He's basically out on his feet. If you just charged forward and landed 2 body shots, he would have fallen over and died. But Tai Tuivasa fucking grabs the clinch and just fucking holds on for dear life when he's out on his feet. Like, he's completely out on his feet. You could fucking push him over, he'd fall down and he would die. He's gasping for air. He's not defending himself intelligently at all. But Tai Tuivasa is also so gassed because he's so out of shape and he's fucking terrible. And then, like, they're just nothing happens. It's the most embarrassing fight. It's a disgrace to the sport. There's absolutely no reason why Tai Tuivasa should be in the UFC. And honestly, I think Tallison Teixeira should be cut immediately. I mean, we saw Denzel Freeman, Denzel Perryman. Denzel Perryman's a linebacker. Denzel Freeman last week get KO'd and lose in probably one of the most embarrassing fashions I've ever seen in my life. He completely gasses out in the first round, gets the fuck beat out of him, gets kicked in the arm, runs away, takes a knee, and then just gives up basically before the round ends. Like, we see all these heavyweights gassing out and looking terrible. I mean, what do we even do at this point? Do we just keep 20 heavyweights on the roster and just never and just honestly, I think at this point, the heavyweight division should just be the feeding organization where we just grab random heavyweights from different organizations, LFA, PFL, Cage Warriors, all of these divisions, or all of these organizations, just grab random heavyweights. It doesn't matter what the record is because there's no way that they're worse than a Tallison Teixeira or a Tai Tuivasa or a Denzel Freeman. There's no way that they're worse than them. You know, I was saying to not sign Gable Steveson and let him develop outside of the UFC and get more wins. It's fucking pointless because if he fights 2 ranked opponents in the UFC, it's the same shit as fighting 2 unranked guys that are in LFA or some random promotion in Australia. Like, the heavyweight division is fucking horrible. Both of these guys were ranked, by the way. It was 12 versus 15. Both guys were ranked. What the fuck are we doing? These are ranked opponents. This was on a main card of a whatever, not a pay-per-view. This was on a main card. This is a fucking disgrace. This should be an early prelim opener to a fight night, an Apex card. Fuck both of these guys. I never want to watch these guys' fights again. They're fucking disgraces to the sport. Listen, I was making this video and I was like, you know what? I don't want to be disrespectful against these guys. You know, like, it's not easy to do what they do. And I get that. I respect every single person that gets into an octagon, but that doesn't mean that I can't call you out and say you fucking suck when you do. And again, Tai Tuivasa, probably a really nice dude. I guarantee you he's a cool motherfucker. He seems like a cool motherfucker. Tallison Teixeira, I don't really know much about him. I haven't really seen his personality. He seems like a nice dude as well. So I don't want to just destroy these guys, but at the end of the day, if they fucking suck at fighting, I'm gonna call it out. I'm just gonna call out what I see. Quillan Salkilld versus Jamie Mullarkey. I picked Quillan Salkilld by round 2 TKO because I thought that he was gonna whoop up Jamie Mullarkey in the first round. But Jamie Mullarkey, if you ever watched him, is weirdly tough and very durable for some reason. Like Mauricio Ruffy was beating the dog shit out of him, but he was still kind of surviving. And Mullarkey was getting beat up by all these guys, and he always loses these fights. Keep in mind, he always loses, but he lasts kind of far. He lasts kind of long in these fights. So I was thinking, you know what, dude? I mean, Salkild's probably gonna whoop up on him in the first round. Maybe take him down. Maybe throw some shots from above, and then maybe he survives it and he's fucking bloodied up, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's only a matter of time. And then he's probably gonna get dropped and TKO'd in round 2. But instead, he just gets fucking destroyed and taken down and submitted in 2 minutes. Just beautiful face crank. Was it face crank or was it a rear naked choke? I don't remember. I think it was a face crank. I don't believe it was fully under. Maybe I'm thinking of O'Bonnelly versus Jonathan Mikhailov. I don't remember. No, I think it was. I think it was a face crank, right? I think. I don't know. I'm not gonna look at it, but Quillan Salkild's a fucking monster. Give this guy a ranked opponent. I think a guy like Fiziev should be his next opponent, which honestly does scare me for him. If I'm not gonna lie, I want to see Quillan Salkilld become champion when Topuria is not in the division, by the way, and when Topuria is retired and he's already beaten Arman and Islam and also become heavyweight champion. So whenever Topuria is gone, we can have Salkilld be champion, okay? But yeah, I really want to see him go far in this division. I don't want to see him get fast tracked. I really don't. I'm very against fast tracking because I mean sometimes it does work to be honest, but sometimes it really fucking doesn't. And I don't want to see him be victim to some guy in the top 10 and then he loses and then we say he was never good. Then we got to go through all this fucking bullshit again. So give him a guy like Fiziev who is very competitive and can make that fight very competitive. Very long, very rangy, very good grappler. I would love to see the exchanges in that fight, the grappling exchanges in that fight. He's got some good power too. He's really unorthodox. He throws big knees. He'll throw elbows in short, elbows in close. He's really dangerous from the clinch. I would love to see a fight like that. Both very similar frames as well. Or maybe not frame. I mean, well, frames, yes. Salkilld is much bigger than him in terms of mass. Ziam is a pretty thin 155er. He's pretty narrow. He's gotten a little larger, but he's still a pretty delicate looking 155er. So I think Quillan Salkilld could outmuscle him for sure. But I would just love to see where that fight goes. Jamie Mullarkey, I mean, he only loses in the UFC, and he's only used to give these up and comers a shot at the rankings, not the rankings, a shot in the UFC. You know, in their first or second fight. So, I mean, I say keep him around. He's tough. Why not? I mean, he can fight one time a year on Australia. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? And maybe an Apex card here and there, and he can fight some debutant. But I don't know. Junior Tafa versus Billy Elekana. I picked Billy Elekana by round 2 submission. Would you look at that? I did pretty good on picks today. Yesterday, sorry. I went 9-4. The fights I got wrong were the main event. I got Torrez Finney wrong, which was a dumb pick by me. Okay, to be fair, you can't really predict a motherfucker to tear his ACL or his Achilles or whatever the fuck it was. You can't really predict a fighter to do that in the first round. But okay, maybe still it was a dumb pick. So I got the main event wrong. I got Jacob Malkoun, Torrez Finney wrong. Let's see. I got the Nakamura fight wrong, and I was fucking riding high. I was like, you know what, dude, this is perfect. He's a minute away. I'm a minute away from getting my pick right. We're good, boom. And then he just gets fucking kneed in the face by a picture perfect knee. So, oh well, yeah, those are the 4 fights I got wrong. Oh, and I got the Kaan Ofli fight wrong, but we'll talk about that one later, okay? We'll talk about that later. Junior Tafa, Billy Elekana. Junior Tafa drops Billy Elekana really bad in the first round. I honestly think he was out, to be honest. I think it was a flash knockout. Junior Tafa, I said this in my prediction video. He is a decent kickboxer, and he is fucking awful at every other aspect of MMA. And we saw that clear as day. He stuffed like one takedown in the first round when Billy Elekana was still trying to get his whips about him and get the cobwebs and clear the cobwebs and get his legs back. But in the second round, he just took him down and mounted him, did some damage, and then what the fuck even was the submission? I don't even know why I don't remember what submission was. I think it was a rear naked choke. Dude, I'm embarrassed that I can't think of this right now. Because I'm recording this at 10 p.m. on Sunday, so it's been a very long day, and also the fights were it was a rear naked it was a rear naked choke. Yes, it was. Okay, I need to. Okay, wait. Now I'm embarrassed. Okay, I need to fact check this. I'm pretty sure it was a rear naked choke. I can't just say it was a rear naked choke if I'm wrong. I can't accept that. So I need to see this. But yeah, it was a very good performance for Billy Elekana. I'm a big fan of this guy. I thought he was fucking terrible from his first fight. But after he beat that one no-name guy and submitted him, I was like, you know what, this guy's not too bad. And then seeing him grit through this fight, grit through him being damn near finished, basically being finished in the first round, and still be really fun and still like he's laughing it off after he's getting hit with big shots. Like, this is a fun fighter. I would like to see where he goes at 205. It was a rear naked choke. Okay, good. I knew I was not fucking going crazy. I know there was a few rear naked chokes. It was like two, and then there was a face crank. Whatever. Billy Elekana. I mean, I don't even know who you give him. Give him a guy like. I made a fights to make video on my Instagram. I think I did one for him, but I don't remember who I did for him. But give him Dustin Stoltzfus. Give him a Dustin Stoltzfus, a guy who is really tough. He looked really good against Nursultan Ruziboyev. It was a pretty close fight. He's suffered some losses too. You know what I mean? He got destroyed by what's his name, Bruno Fajea, but he also has some solid wins and he's really tough. So that would be a cool little fight to see. Just he's an experienced veteran, but he's also not so good to where I think he would destroy Billy Elekana, because I want to see Billy Elekana go far in this division because the division fucking blows. Everything 205 and up is just awful. I mean, Billy Elekana has the third highest win streak in light heavyweight, and that win streak is 3 wins, by the way. So whatever. Torrez Finney versus Jacob Malkoun. Yeah, Jacob Malkoun. Torrez Finney. He got like dropped by a jab, but also at the same time, like he was holding his knee. It was either his knee or his ACL, or sorry, it was either his knee or his Achilles. I'm not really sure which one it was, but yeah, that was kind of rough. He fucked up his knee in the first round, and after that, I mean, he didn't really do shit. He threw 0 low kicks. He was just getting fucking. He basically was a punching bag for Jacob Malkoun. I picked Terez Finney because I thought he could suplex him and take him down and hold him down. Jacob Malkoun hasn't fought in 2 years. He last fought on UFC Atlantic City, which was when what's his name? Which when Chris Weidman eye poke TKO'd Bruno Silva, and that was like I think Aaron Blanchfield was on that card. Joaquin Buckley versus Vicente Luque was on the card. Like, that's how fucking long ago that was that he last fought. Was that the main event? Yeah, it was. I think Luque Buckley was the main event of that. I think so. But yeah, that's how long ago he fought. I think that was March of 2024. So that was 22 months ago. So I was not liking his activity, and Jacob Malkoun is not even that amazing. Like, he's solid. Actually, I think he's a little bit underrated. Like, he's okay. He's not bad at all, but I thought Terez Finney could make it boring and win a 29-20 decision, but instead he just blew out his knee, and yeah, I mean, he landed like 1 or 2 good shots in round 3 when he knew that he needed to finish, and yeah, Jacob Malkoun just did his thing. So not really much to discuss in that fight. Terez Finney, everybody's happy that he lost. I mean, I'm not happy that he lost. I mean, he's a nice guy. Like, I mean, okay, whatever. Yeah, he had a terrible fight against Robert Valentin, but who gives a fuck? I mean, like, yeah, you can call him a terrorist of the sport. Oh my god, I can't believe what he did to Robert Valentin. Who gives a fuck, bro? You're not gonna watch that fight again. That fight had no implications on anything in the division at all. Who gives a shit? But I don't know. Cam Rowston versus Cody Brundage. I picked Cam Rowston by 30-27 decision. I thought he was just going to outpoint him through 3 rounds because Cody Brundage is very easy to hurt, but he's hard to put out. So I was thinking, he's probably going to crack him a few times and he'll shell up, but somehow he'll survive and then he'll make it out of the round and then he'll just win. Cam Rowston will just win a 30-27. But yeah, instead, actually, Cody Brundage had a lot of success in this fight. He was landing a good amount of big shots. I was actually pretty impressed with him. Cody Brundage, I don't hold him that high. I like the dude a lot. He's a really cool guy, but he's just extremely low level. Like, he's a 59 overall fighter. If we're being honest, Cam Rowston is a much higher overall fighter. I give him like a 77. So I think Cam Rowston should have done much better. I don't think he should have been, I don't think Cam Rowston should have seen adversity against Cody Brundage. That was kind of concerning to see, but I mean, at the end of the day, he was still fucking him up. He hit him with a big knee. He was just playing target practice with his nose. and he dropped him and TKO'd him. It was a very good performance for Cam Rowston. Some things that you need to correct, but I mean, I have faith in his camp. He's a CKB guy. He's training with Adesanya and Navajo Sterling, Kaikar France, all those guys, Dan Hooker. So I have faith that he'll make it pretty far in this division. He's a little bit of a character as well. He's always cool to have characters in this sport. I'm always a fan of that. Is that it for the early prelim or for the regular prelims? It is. Kaan Ofli versus Yizha. I haven't rewatched this fight. I don't even want to because I'm just going to get angry. I can't even believe that this was well, technically it was a majority decision, but I can't believe that there was anybody that scored this fight for Kaan Ofli. I mean, he got fucked up and dropped maybe 4 times in the second round. I mean, like, okay, I had Kaan Ofli barely won the first round. I had Yizha easily winning round 2 and 3. I mean, there's not even really much to talk about. It was a disgusting robbery. I picked Yizha by decision, which makes me even more fucking mad because that obviously should have happened. I said Yizha. I said it actually in my prediction video. I did this perfectly. I said that Yizha is higher volume than Kaan Ofli. Kaan Ofli doesn't throw that much. He doesn't land that much. He's small for the division, kind of. He's got baby arms. He's got a negative ape index. I was like, you know what, Yizha, he can take you down if need be, which he did. He took him down how many times? 3 times. He was 3 for 3 on his takedowns. He outpointed him. He cracked him. I said he's going to hurt him. Like, dude, I predicted this fight perfectly. And he just gets brutally fucking robbed. Obviously, it's because he's an Australian that's in Australia. I mean, there's not even a conspiracy about it. It's just disgusting. One guy had a 28-28, which makes more sense, but it still doesn't make enough sense, which is just bullshit. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not mad watching Kaan Ofli win because he's a Volkanovski trainee. He's one of Volkanovski's training partners, and I like people in the Volkanovski camp winning, but I can't fucking stand when a guy wins when it's just so not deserved. Like, I'm not a fighter, obviously. I'm not a UFC fighter. But if I won a fight by absolute fucking robbery, I don't think I would be that happy. Maybe that's naive to say because that would mean that if I lost a fight, if I win a fight, then that means I'm getting a win bonus and all that, and my contract is going to. But if I'm being honest, like, how can you be happy about a match like this? How can you be happy about a win like this and a outcome like this? Because nobody's going to take you serious. Everybody knows you fucking lost. In the back of your head, you knew you lost. You like just watch how he reacts when the decision was read. He knows he lost. In the back of his mind, he knows that he didn't do enough. So yeah, I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do? You can only just fight and have the judges read the decision. It's not his fault, but whatever. Yeah, there was a couple fun fights for the road to UFC. Nakamura had a fucking beautiful finish. It was a back and forth fight, but Sebastian, I don't know how to say his name, Sisley was gonna very much easily take that win, and he was a minute away from getting it done, and then he just got fucking beautiful knee up the middle. I fucking love knee knockouts. We don't see a lot of them that much. Like occasionally, maybe once every 2 cards, we'll see a head kick knockout. Once every 3 cards, maybe, and that's always fireworks. I fucking love a nice knee knockout, a nice knee right at the fucking middle, a nice knee where you got him in a fucking collar tie, you got him in the tie clinch, and you fucking knee him, and then you. But I fucking love a knee knockout, and you know what? By the way, Diego Lopes had so many opportunities to do a fucking jump knee up the middle or just a straight knee up the middle against Volkanovski, and he just didn't do it. He did it one time, kind of. I think it was round 4. I think it was the 4th round. He kind of did it, but there's so many times where, like, I was calling this out. I was saying to a friend of mine that I was watching the fights with, I was saying, dude, the fucking knee up the middle is right there. I don't know why he doesn't do it. And he didn't do it, but yeah. That was UFC 325. Overall, I think it was about a 7 out of 10 card. Every time the UFC goes to Australia, it's never really amazing, to be honest. They're never great cards. This one, I think, was one of the better Australia cards. The last one was UFC, I think it was 313 or 312 rather, which was awful. It was Sean versus Drickus was not 312, was it? I think it was. Yeah, yeah. Wait, was it? I'm pretty sure Sean versus Drickus was 312. Or no, it was. Hold on. Yeah, it was. Okay, 312 was Sean versus Drickus. That card fucking blows. It was probably the worst card of the year. UFC 305 wasn't that good. UFC 293 wasn't that good. Like, I'm pretty sure Blood Diamond was on the main event, was on the main card of UFC 293. Blood Diamond versus Charles Radke was there. UFC 293 was, of course, when Sean beat Adesanya. Kaikar France was on that card. I don't remember who he was against. Oh, Felipe dos Santos? No, Felipe dos Santos was on that card, I think. Yeah, I mean, again, it's never the greatest card when you go to Australia, but I would say this was one of the better Australia cards in recent memory. They announced that they're going to Macau in May, I think, in late May, I believe they said they were going to Macau, or maybe it was late March, I think. So that's cool. We'll get some more Chinese talent on the card. Maybe Song Yadong can main event that. And of course, it's gonna be the fucking, it's gonna be another 5 in the morning card, 5 in the morning main card. Oh well. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty solid card. I would give it a 6.8. I'm not 6.5 out of 10. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at VinceMMA1. Go to 3punchconvo.com. Use my code of VinceMMA for a first free month. It is a MMA discussion post forum website where you can enter in pick prediction contests. We run all types of contests. We actually ran a contest for our picks. If you landed in the top 5 of the UFC 325 picks, then you were to be able to get on a Zoom call with UFC fighter Chase Hooper. I did not make it in the top 5. I'm very upset about that, but we do all kinds of contests like that. You can use the website for free, or you can use it. It's only $4.99 a month. There's no hidden fees. You can cancel at any time. But if you do sign up, use my code VinceMMA for a first free month. And I hope to see you guys next time. Like the video, share, subscribe. I will make Mario Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira card predictions in a couple days. And yeah, thank you very much for watching.